All right. So it's great to see everybody here. I'm going to be sharing my screen in a few minutes, but again, I'm Sarah Post, and I know many of you, many of the folks who signed up on this webinar are Maine librarians. Cornerstones has been around in Maine for about 21 years now, so got a lot of great connections here in Maine. Started kind of reaching out, you know, throughout the nation through our library telescope program. So we've connected with a lot more libraries. About 550 libraries around the United States have Cornerstones of Science telescopes now. So we do have, sometimes we have folks on our webinars from different states. It's really exciting, just even very rural parts of the United States, which is really great because those are places they're going to have nice dark skies for the telescope work. So I'll go into a little bit more of that here in just a few minutes, but I'm going to go ahead and start sharing my screen. And if you have any questions, I think with this small group, you know, just speak up or you can write something in chat. I think I can still see the chat when I share my screen, but sometimes I kind of miss it. So let me know if, well, just more than welcome to speak up, I think, for this type of webinar. Let's see. All right, can everybody see the Rev Up the Fun screen? Excellent, okay. So Rev Up the Fun is a project that we started because of COVID. Many of you guys knew about our Science Trunks program, the Cornerstones of Science Science Trunks that have been circulating around Maine for quite a while now. They've been around for about 10, 11 years actually. And there were, you know, kind of eight different themes. We had a couple of new ones come up recently, and they were kind of these big pelican trunks. I don't know if the pelican case, it's a big, kind of a big case with a good 8 to 10 activities in them. And before COVID, we were actually already thinking about paring them down, you know, really kind of more of the tote that you might get through interlibrary loan, and maybe having just 3 or 4 activities with, if you were having an hour-long activity with, say, 15 kids, you might have like 15 sets of something or 10 sets of something more instead of just one set of something, you know. So we were already thinking about how to pare them down a bit and be more useful for the library. And then COVID hit, and so we shifted a bit. But I'm gonna talk a little bit about the program, the background of the program here in just a minute. So these Rev Up the Fun activities are meant to be kind of at-home, science-based activities for families. They can definitely be done in a library setting as well, because we're really trying to have these activities be just kind of fun and theme focused and really with materials that are readily available. We've also added these online companion videos. They're kind of fun and goofy. They're not meant to be a step-by-step how to do the activity, but more of a bigger theme on why should we care about this theme, or why should we do this type thing, because there's a bigger, you know, a bigger picture, a bigger theme to how, you know, taking care of our health, or why should we have dark night skies, or why should we be thinking about saving energy. Those are the kind of 3 key themes on the Rev Up the Fun website. These activities are all in PDF form, so they're printable. And they were developed by Cornerstones of Science, Maine Campus Compact, and the Maine Energy Americorps program. I'm not sure if you're familiar with those organizations. Maine Campus Compact has a lot of volunteers with Americorps programs. Of course, utilizing the campuses of young, you know, teens and early 20s that are looking for great service-oriented projects. Some of them are have a key focus area, like many of the ones we're working with are this main energy program. They're called MEEP Americorps members. And there's others that might be health focused or growth smart Americorps members. So there's kind of different pieces of the whole program, but most of the ones we have been working with are the MEEP members. And so we'll go into things here. I see a chat here. Oh yes, how can we find out about these volunteer opportunities? Yes, definitely. I have added these websites at the end of the webinar. The main campus compact would be a great spot. Maine Americorps, there's a whole volunteer Maine is another spot to go to. So definitely say, try those spots. Trying to advance my screen here. Let's see. There we go. All right. So for today's webinar, it's going to be fairly quick, maybe 35, 40 minutes. But I want to give you a little bit of a background on this program because it just didn't come up this year. We really have been working on this for about 3 years. We're going to take a little tour of the Rev Up the Fun website and talk a little bit about the main part of the project. Oops, here we go. That's what my mouse is very sensitive here. There we go. So there we have focused in Maine around actually printing these double-sided science-based activity sheets out, working very closely with the Maine Department of Education's Summer Food Service Program, which I remember many of you may be familiar with. I think there's a good, from what I hear this year, maybe about 40 libraries in Maine that are actual food service sites this summer. So we can talk a little bit more. That's quite the web to learn. I mean, literally web of layer upon layer upon layer of folks and sites and site supervisors and actual program sites. And so I've definitely learned a lot. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact me about that. There's libraries who have been part of this for a long time, other libraries that came on as site supervisors for, food program specific last year's, because of the higher need. So yes, there's a great program around Maine that we've been working with. And yeah, if you guys have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask or email me at any point. Yes, mute yourself during the presentation, ask questions in chat, but again, hey, speak up, I don't mind. This can be pretty informal. So like I said before, many of you might know Cornerstones of Science already, been around for quite a while. We attend conferences. We have this library telescope program that many of you know about that's been going on since about 2012. We do a lot of training of librarians specifically around the telescope so that you can be helping patrons feel a little more comfortable with it, or just comfortable enough that you're willing to let it go out of the library. And then we've also been part of the NASA at My Library project for the last 5 years. One of the big parts of the project was the total solar eclipse in 2017. We were doing a lot with that project. And then our science trunk, this picture down here with the butterfly, you may have seen that, but our science trunks just had a ton of different activities, including costumes and puppets and gosh, you name it, all kinds of stuff. We were been part of Reading Roundup last few years, and I'm not sure if you were part of it this year, but it was one of our first times to be a vendor on that was a WOVA online conference piece. That was pretty cool, I thought. And then we help connect libraries with scientists and vice versa. Scientists want to be involved in communities, and so we've done a lot of that. And we build a lot of kits. We build a lot of science kits. So beyond our science trunks, we've built science kits for the National Institute of Health and oh God, and for NASA, we helped with a lot of the NASA at My Library kits. The picture you see here, there we go. Picture you see here is a light pollution kit. So we always try to focus our kits on a kind of a bigger theme of something important into communities or important to your health instead of just like a kind of a fun, goofy science activity. We really try and connect it back um, to what maybe light, how light is working, how might it affect you or your family or your neighbors or or the earth, those types of things. So the Rev Up the Fun program actually began in 2019, and it was called the Healthy Minds Initiative, or Healthy Minds. And we work closely with just really 3 main libraries. Again, the main campus compact, and then the main Department of Education summer food service program. And that's just a definition down there of what that food service program is. Back in 2019, I may be speaking, to those who already are very, very familiar with this, but some people aren't. But back in 2019 and previous years, youth had to eat their meals on site. It was just part of what was required. I think it was really to help have someone know that the kids were actually getting the nutrition that they needed. So they actually, in order to be a food service site, the youth had to come in and sit down and actually have their meals at the site. So that was we actually then brought our science trunks to the 3 libraries, and a main campus compact Americorps member would deliver some science content activities, mainly based around health, of course, and you see Choose My Plate, those types of things. This is the picture in the bottom right is our Healthy Citizens trunk. All kinds of fun activities for anywhere from looking at human x-rays, full-size human x-rays of a whole body, talking about being active, playing games. We have a microscope in that one as well, looking at fun stuff, health. Skin's really fun to look at, and muscles. So, and then also just kind of the health of the world in general. That's the bugs and butterfly trunk up there on the upper picture. So they deliver about 45 minutes to an hour of activities as a enrichment to the summer food service program. And we actually got written up in the Bangor Daily News on a nice article. You can look up, again, Healthy Minds. I think it was called Healthy Minds Initiative, way back in 2019. So then as 2020 came around, we really were already focusing on the work for the summer, and then said, okay, how can we really keep having an impact? And let's see what these, at the time we'd been working with libraries, and let's see what they're doing, or what, we know most of the libraries were closed. Are there going to be any food service sites at all? And the answer was yes. And we started working really closely with the Maine Department of Education coordinator. Her name's Adrienne Ackroyd. And she helped us navigate this web. That's just the only thing I can call it, because it really kind of is. There's all different types of site supervisor or site representatives. I'm not getting the right word, but there's like Good Shepherd Food Bank might be one site, and then but they have this whole web of places that that they contract out to. And so there's numerous sites that might be under 1 or 2 layers of other people. So anyways, we started developing the Rev Up the Fun website, I would say, or an inventory of activities. These are double-sided, fun, hands-on activities, again, meant to be used at home or in a setting that you can readily find some household items, toilet roll, some grass clippings outside, maybe a bin, some sort of bin. I'm just thinking off the top of my head of some of our activities. So we started with about 15 activities the first year in 2020. And we really stuck with energy, mainly energy efficiency, space, and health. And we chose these mainly because the main Americorps program we worked with were all about energy efficiency, and we can all use energy efficiency help in our lives, I think. Cornerstones is very much known for its work around space, and we noticed that a lot of people love, they want to learn more about space, how to view the night sky. And then health is the number one. You guys could probably tell me that health is somewhat one of the number one pieces kind of researched in a library setting. And so we kind of stuck with these three, and we may expand upon these, but what we've kind of noticed is this summer, this 2021 summer, the activities that we chose, might be both space and health, like the light pollution, kind of a space and health crossover. Many of them have a crossover or environmental piece that might fit under all of these. So it's been kind of neat to think about how some of the activities can really cross over into other sections. So when somebody comes, this is the face of our online homepage, if you will, and people can click on these big round buttons here, or they can go straight to this activities button as well to get to the activities. And in just a second, I'm going to actually click on the website here in just a minute, but I just showed you to our homepage. We're going to go into the inventory of the health, energy, and space activities. You'll see I'll show you a couple of the activity sheets themselves, and they're really meant to be printables. They're as PDFs, and we'd love to hear any feedback you have on that. If you'd like to see it in a different format, if you think it might be more useful for you in a different format or for others in a different format, it'd be good to know. And then we have these really fun companion videos to each activity. We're gonna see if we can watch one on here, see if you can hear it on here. We had our main Americorps members make these videos, young, fun, scripts with goofy activities meant, a minute to 2.5 minutes long, so not very long. But again, not really the sort of step-by-step on how to do the activity. It's really more of why is this important? What's the bigger theme to think about instead of sort of the step-by-step, because I think the first side of the activity sheet helps people understand the bigger theme, and then the back side is the actual activity. All right, so now let's go ahead and see if we can take a tour of our site here. Can everybody see that with the health up top? Great. So this is what the inventory looks like. You kind of scroll down. Even though it had the 3 buttons, it's not really sending you to 3 different pages. It's really just sending you to one page that you can just scroll down and then see the energy activities, and then scroll down to see the space activities. And we focus a little more heavily, you can see, on the health and energy. Mainly it was just through funding, we needed to really focus on energy, and health just kept coming up with with COVID, but really that mini constellation activity, I think, is a lot of people a lot of kids like last summer. So I'm gonna go ahead, and so here we'll just focus on the health. So all of these activities under this badge here is health. You see that they all kind of have a cute little icon to go with them. This one's a new one from this summer. We're making eight new activities this summer. I think 4 of them are on here right now, and the last 4 will be added in a couple of weeks, or well, not that long, maybe 2 weeks. So we're still working on some of the videos, the companion videos for some of these, but I'll click on Let's see if I can click on this and it will come up. Actually takes a second. Some of them come up right away, others take just a second, but it's too long, isn't it? There we go. So this is what the main Rev Up the worksheets look like, not worksheets, activity sheets. All the health and space ones look similar to this. The energy efficiency ones look a little bit different. I'll show you those, but this one is about in your water, kind of thinking about when it rains, where does the water go? How does it move? And then, into then your drinking water. What are you then drinking? And so talking about storm drains, types of pollution, and things that you can do to keep our water clean. And then ways to find out more about water and how it moves, and things like yardscaping. And then there's the second side of the sheet, this activity of what's in your water. And we really tried to, again, focus on some really easy materials and just kind of some easy instructions. And they are kind of meant to be, some of them, really to bring a discussion out with your patrons as you're having a program, or with the family, things to talk about. What makes pollution, if these all things mixed together, if you have oil in your car and it comes out of your car, where does that go? So those types of things, kind of making it more of a discussion. And in fact, one of our Americorps members had a program the other day, and she said she did this activity, another water type activity, and it got them talking about weather, so I'm sure if you're doing programming, you understand that it kind of can take you in many different directions, but I love that it just gets a discussion started, right? Let's take a look at another one. So that one had a little more graphics on it. I just want to show you one that has a little more text heavy. This is trait tracking. So even, I guess this one's not too bad, but some of them we have probably a little bit too much text, but but talking about maybe genetic traits, ways to think about your family, and then on the back is kind of a fun way to think about, what your different traits that you might have, you compared to your family or even your friends, so and a little more discussions, ways to discuss these things. So it can be around the third to fifth grade level science. It could be definitely for younger and older kids as well. So let me show you one of the energy efficiency ones, so you see a kind of a different, or how different it might look. They've got some fun ones. So she is. Looks like Heather's back. There she is. Hi, Heather. All right. So this is what the energy efficiency ones look like. They kind of have this green and sort of pale, I don't know, off-white. They all kind of look similar to this with these colors, but still has the energy badge here. And this one's all about how can you help the planet by turning off the lights. Let's see. No worries, Heather. So again, sometimes, a few little statistics to start, things to think about around turning off your lights. And then, of course, the second side is all about the activity. And I really like this one, actually. This is called Flip the Switch, and you can get the little Post-it notes. This one shows a little Post-it notes, and you decorate a little Post-it note by your light switch and say, turn off the lights. Or another fun one is to make a little frame to go around your light switch, and you can decorate it and say, turn me off, or turn off the lights. So those are the types of things that would be in this activity. Some of the other ones, they have one that's like a vampire hunt. Oops, a vampire hunt that, you know, there it is, your electronics that are plugged in are sucking the energy out of your house there. And so that's pretty cute. It's pretty cute. So, but again, all these have a nice fun video, and I think I'm going to see if I can, I'm going to stop sharing my screen here just a minute. Let's see. Let me show you one more activity before I stop. Then we'll go to a video. So viewing the night skies have been, during the COVID here, has been very popular. People getting outside at home with their families. I mean, I don't know if you know, the two major companies, Orion and Celestron, who sell a lot of telescopes and binoculars, they're back ordered like crazy. I mean, I think things are getting a little bit better, but their sales have skyrocketed literally. And so we know, and we knew way before, that people love astronomy and love learning about the night sky. So this one's kind of fun, a mini night sky constellation that you actually build with a toilet paper roll. And I'll show you some pictures of a group that did these in a camp, but very easy, punching some holes, you know, in the end, putting a piece of paper over, punching some holes, and then using a flashlight to display it up on a wall, just to get the idea that you know, you can see starlight through, make your own constellation, or look at the constellations that are up in the sky. All right. So I think that's all I'm going to show you on the actual tour of the website. Before we go, maybe watch a video. Did you have any questions about? I can just show you quickly. If you go to this revupthefun.org, you can read more about, you know, the different organizations involved here, and contact. There's some contacts for what you mentioned earlier, if you're looking for some volunteers. I think there's one called Volunteer Maine too, that Maine Campus Compact is part of. And then another section we haven't really developed a whole lot is how to get involved. And so, but we'd love if you're a library that would like to get involved next summer, or even in the off seasons in the fall. We're looking how to expand this in the fall and spring as well, and possibly develop a guide for other communities that want to do a similar piece that we've done, and maybe not have to navigate this web, or I could help people understand a little bit more about the summer food service programs. And it may be different in every state. I'm not sure, but okay. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen here a minute. And then I've brought up our Cornerstones of Science YouTube page. I'm going to share that. There we go. So can you see, this is our Cornerstones of Science page. Everyone see that? Yeah. This is our founder, Lee Grodzins. If you haven't ever seen that little video, it's great. He just turned 95 last Saturday. Amazing guy, still very involved with the organization. These are some of those how-to videos I mentioned when we first started. And then there's some of our webinars that we've had. But I'm going to go to this Dancing It Out. This is one of our fun, Rev Up the Fun activity videos, and hopefully you'll be able to hear it too. So I hear that you can't hear it. Is that true? Can't hear it? Oh, bummer. Let me see if I can just, I saw something optimized for video. Um, let's, let me just get out of this room. Did I lose everybody? Mm. Is everybody there? Great. Unable to hear video. Okay. Well, it's too bad. I've tried to show those videos before and I thought I had it done, but I guess it's hard to. Anybody have any ideas when you're doing those types of things, when the video, trying to show a video? No. Anyways, that's a super cute video, dancing it out. And the activity is a really short one. But you might have seen how we're using animation along with some fun videos with some of these Americorps members on it. And it's just been really fun working with that group of Americorps members, and they're very excited. And then that graphic program is called Animaker. I don't know if you're familiar with Animaker. I wasn't familiar with it before, but it's very fun. It's go down a rabbit hole with it, just like anything. But the Americorps members have been ones that are, we've chosen Americorps members that are more prone to wanting to do the videos or having had done videos before. So we've given them a little bit of carte blanche to make, we approve a short script and then they go into Animaker, and some of them feel very comfortable on the screen. Others don't feel comfortable. So you might see some that have a little animation person and it's just their voice. So it's been really, really fun. And then we do have a separate editor who kind of puts the title block. You might have seen the fun title block with the Rev Up the Fun and the music. And of course, all of our logos that need to be on there. So he'll go in and do the title block and ending block for us of the videos, and maybe show the activity sheet. It'll say, if you like this, go do the dancing it out activity sheet, so that it kind of brings people to the website if they happen to come across our video somewhere, and vice versa. If they have the activity sheet, we kind of point them to the revupthefun.org to maybe watch the video or do some other activities. So it's been really fun to see people using the website, and just even for me and the Americorps members developing those videos. So I hope they get used. We'll see. We're going to be doing some more promotion out. But I want to go back to our slides here and talk about the specific main project. You'll recognize, let's see. I'll go through these real quick. Promise I didn't have a lot of slides here. Okay, so this is what we just did. We took a little tour of the site. I'd hope to watch that video, but you guys can go watch it. I recommend it. It's a short one. I think it's 1 minute and 20 seconds. I want to see, I'm trying to say show video panel. I can't see you guys on my screen anymore. Let's see if I can see you. Yep. Sorry about that. I want to see you. Let's see. Show video panel. Oh, there we go. Show video panel. There we go. All right. So this is the project for this year. We have 7 sites that are, again, this SFSP is the Summer Food Service Program sites, and Portland. So I bunched them up to that have similar types of programs. So Portland and Demerskata this summer with the group that we're working with have a similar system. They have this van delivery or bus delivery of the meals, the packed meals to neighborhoods. And the one in Portland does 2 routes a day, one in the AM and one in the PM. And it's actually, I think, 2 separate neighborhoods. And they are printing 500 of the Rev Up the Fun activities once a week. So it's, of course, a different activity each week, but 500 sheets. Our Americorps members are going to a central kitchen site in Portland and stuffing meal bags with these enrichment sheets. Let's see, there's a question here. Yeah, 500. I thought they weren't quite sure if they were going to keep up 500, but they have. So, and they started a little early. They started like June 21st. So it's been pretty good. Oops, let me go back. There we go. And the Demerskata is about 30 sheets, and that's the program. So the Portland one is through the Portland school system and Cumberland County Food Security Program. And then the Demerskata one is through Healthy Lincoln County van delivery. And I'm not exactly sure. I think they're going through a certain route. That's an amazing organization, and they could handle a whole lot more if we could get them a little more help. But we committed to about 30 sheets a week through one van service. But their Healthy Lincoln County is actually helping in Knox County this year as well. So so we were trying to kind of figure out, our capacity with some of our Americorps members to help, and their capacity, and just kind of do a good match with what capabilities we all had. So it's really a once a week effort, whereas most of these food summer sites are every single day, every day at either lunchtime or both breakfast and lunch. So again, we're working with these printed sheets, and it's more of what you guys might talk about it as being kind of passive, and it is. It's unfortunately it's about stuffing meal bags with the activity, and then it goes on with the bus or the van, and we really don't have a good idea on how it's being received by kids and families, other than maybe what we hear from some of the other people who are working in the program. Brunswick and Machias, these are kind of camp settings at schools. So Brunswick, it was, oh gosh, it's not the school system there that I was working with. Maine Mid-Coast Hunger Prevention out of Brunswick. They're having some helping with the food service at the camps at the schools, and one of our members delivered at one of the schools like 60 kids a program for 45 minutes, and the other one was 80 kids, in one day. So that was pretty amazing what he did. And so he did that for, I think, 3 or 4 weeks for the camp. Very active. Machias was very similar, not as many kids, but camp setting for 4 weeks, where she would go in and do an hour-long program, and she might do 2 or 3 of the Rev Up the Fun activities that, again, I know for one, she focused on water and did 2 of our sort of water activities. Yeah, and that's where the discussion started happening around weather that she was talking about. So just giving you guys an idea on opportunities or ways this program might work for you if you were thinking about joining us, doing some Rev Up the Fun activities. Lewiston, That's at a local housing authority site, a very specific site that has a resource center located right kind of in the apartment setting. And kids come on their own, typically without their families who live in that big apartment complex, and then they stay and do the activity and demonstrations with the Americorps members that are there. So that one's been pretty popular. So instead of normally they might just come and pick up their meal and leave and go home, they're staying in it and engaging in that activity. And then finally, Biddeford and Brewer. Biddeford is at the Biddeford Middle School. Is like they call the Biddeford Loop, and they have demonstrations at a table, and they're trying to get more people to kind of come up. There's other vendor type things going on at that loop, so they pick up their meal. There might be some other activities from some other outreach organizations, and Rev Up the Fun is a table, and just trying to kind of pique their interest in the short amount of time that they come, by just maybe showing a demonstration very quickly, very quick, kind of a very quick contact with the kids so that they kind of get excited about maybe doing the activity once they get home. So Biddeford, we're actually pinning 250 sheets for Biddeford, but 125 are for the specific, I think it's an hour and a half long meal pickup once a week, but then she's taking the rest of the sheets and sending it out to some of the different sites as well. And Brewer is at a specific housing authority site, and there's about 40 meals that get picked up there. So we're doing 40 sheets. These are some pictures from this summer. I'll start with the one down here. This is the Biddeford Middle School loop that I just mentioned. So you can kind of see the table. They've got a bin here, I think this is the in your water activity. That was our first activity for the summer. And then Sandy, the food service director who just retired. I don't know if you know that, but she's high energy person. She was like, oh, get them to have posters, and I think they got a bubble machine, and really just trying to get people to come over to the tables, where to get more items and enrichment, and just talking with people, engaging with people, of course at a distance still, but that's been a bit of a challenge for the girls there. They're a little bit quiet. I said the girls, the two Americorps members there. So they're trying. They're doing their best there. And then these are some of the activities. These two over here with punching the holes. This is that mini constellation activity that I showed you. Kind of, some people get pretty aggressive. There's the one with the heart, and somebody get really aggressive, punching their holes. This was at the camp in Machias. And then this one up here is a new activity. It's actually not on the inventory yet. It's called water flow. Gosh, it's about watersheds. So she decided to demonstrate it to make sure her activity, she's developing that activity. So she was like, I want to check to see if this really works. And so it was kind of neat, crumpling up the paper, or actually using the markers to kind of draw different areas, and you crumple up the paper and you sprinkle water, and you can see where water will collect in the paper or where it will drain, like down mountains and collect in reservoirs. And so she said it worked really nicely. So that was good. So just to kind of wrap up a bit, for and even this fall and into 2022, we do want to be working more with libraries, because I think you guys know we really try to work closely with libraries, and we're excited about things kind of opening up a bit. We'll see. And then if you are a food service site already, or if you think you want to be, let us know. And then fall and spring after school, or library STEM programs, definitely all the activities are available online to utilize anytime, for sure. And then again, I think I mentioned we're going to be developing a guide that other communities might use, and we are, of course, always trying to look for grants that could help support some of this work. the highest cost right now really is maybe the printing of the activities. You know, it's, you can print them in black and white, which is of course the cheapest, but sometimes printing them in color can be, you know, when you're talking about 500 for some of those communities. But they're really vibrant in color. You saw some of the activity sheets. So those are the things that we're just kind of thinking about, and also how to maybe make some of the whole program overall maybe a little more active. I'm not sure if any of you guys did take and makes for maybe that's even a bad word now or a bad phrase. But I think most take and makes were very well received. Maybe they're hard to make and manage. I know that, you know, even Cornerstones, we thought about, okay, how can we maybe even make one or two of these activities a take and make for Portland? And we just realized, boy, the logistics of the 500 bags and even 2 or 3 things in a bag can just, it's time consuming. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I know. Being able to offer something, and so I know their take and makes were very well received. So we'll probably, you know, either come up with take and makes for each activity, you know, that could be helpful to you, to how to build, you know, quickly build one, or being able to offer them ourselves to libraries in Maine. Those are types of things we're thinking about for next year. Here's some of the websites. If you haven't been to Cornerstones of Science website in a while, we've got a few updates there, or you can go directly to revupthefun.org. That's its very own website that you saw. And then there's the Maine Campus Compact, specifically around their Conserve Maine Energy site. I think a lot of those energy activity sheets are on that site as well. And then you can see some of their logos here. Yeah, Maine Campus Compact and Volunteer Maine are some really good resources to look into for sure. All right. Anybody have any questions on Rev Up? I know it's a bit sad to not really have the science trunks, but I think maybe they kind of had their run, you know. I think even if we sent them out, just to sort of cleaning them and yeah, exactly. So we'll see what we can do in the future, but we appreciate your time and thanks for being on here, and please contact me if you have any questions.
Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you, Heather. Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We'll see you later. Bye.
Bye.